Historical image captures a Nazi rally, uniformed masses saluting under swastika flags, showing the totalitarian synchronization we're about to explore. Remember the relatively quiet Obama and Biden years? Trump's era brings daily expansions of executive power into every corner of American life. The Obama-Biden years felt predictable and calm, while the Trump era delivers constant adventures in expanding executive control. Under Trump, the executive branch reaches into society, the economy, the military, and our political system, leaving no stone unturned. Even the NFL kickoff scheme caught his attention, showing how far his worrisome gaze extends into American culture. Citizens now feel they must check everything, their actions, words, and associations, against the dear leader's judgment before proceeding. This forced synchronization of society to political rule comes straight from the dictator's playbook. Let's examine Gleichschaltung, the Nazi program that systematically synchronized all of German society under totalitarian control. Gleichschaltung meant coordination, or bringing into line. The Nazis imposed total control over German society between 1933 and 1935. The term came from electrical engineering, putting all switches on one circuit, then transformed into a chilling political metaphor for unified control. Trump now seeks this same synchronization across federal government, media, schools, libraries, and museums. The administration insists this isn't censorship, but consequences for failing to conform to their singular definition of American greatness. Nazi Gleichschaltung aligned politics, economy, culture, and education under one ideology while eliminating all opposition. Trump demands broadcast licenses be pulled from any media network that dares criticize him. The first Gleichschaltung law dissolved state parliaments, then the second law installed Nazi governors, dismantling German federalism in months. The civil service purge systematically removed Jews and political opponents from public office, education, and the judiciary. The Nazi German Labor Front replaced independent trade unions, ending workers' collective bargaining and autonomous organization. By mid-1933, all opposition parties were banned and Germany became a one-party state where elections lost all meaning. The Nazi Party's dominance over all opposition created a system where voting became pointless. Elections couldn't possibly be lost. Massive Nazi organizations for youth and adults became compulsory, enforcing ideological indoctrination and loyalty to the Führer. Anyone deemed un-German was targeted for cleansing from society, anyone who didn't conform to the synchronized vision. Loyalty to one man, troops on streets, cities being cleansed, these patterns appear in both Nazi Germany and contemporary America. Gleichschaltung provided the legal and social foundations for the Nuremberg laws and the concentration camps that followed. The dangerous logic goes, you gotta do bad things to bad people, framing targeted groups as inherently bad to justify extreme measures. Propaganda enforced social unity and conformity while targeting nonconformists and minorities for persecution and exclusion. Both MAGA and the Nazis share a disturbing pattern of targeting non-heterosexuals for persecution. By 1935, Nazi control was nearly absolute. Every institution and means of expression served totalitarian and racial goals. Synchronized institutions enabled mass persecution, then war mobilization, and ultimately the Holocaust. The 2026 midterms, roughly 400 days away, may represent a last chance before full synchronization is achieved. Congress compliance, Supreme Court accommodation, and the MAGA body all enable Trump's radical consolidation of power. Trump's second-term agenda draws direct comparisons to Gleichschaltung in its methods, goals, and institutional dismantling. Both Trump 2.0 and Gleichschaltung emphasize centralizing power, dismantling institutional checks, and marginalizing dissent. Mega commissars, originally called dojis, spread throughout federal agencies and local institutions, while citizens are encouraged to turn in neighbors. Students turn in professors, neighbors rat out neighbors, eventually children turn in parents. Social trust collapses under authoritarian surveillance. Both regimes seek to override institutional constraints, letting a single leader dominate government functions and crush opposition. Trump's team works to politicize independent agencies like the Justice Department, deploy federal forces, and mimic dictators he openly admires. Trump's executive authority reaches into the Justice Department, deploys federal forces, and targets domestic opponents to consolidate control. Nazi legal measures and Trump's weaponized presidency use the same approach: legal powers to dissolve opposition and punish critics. Trump's rhetoric consistently pressures marginalized groups, media, and courts to conform or face retaliation. Both Nazi purges and Trump's loyalist appointments insulate leadership from accountability while elevating followers over independent actors. For now, America still has multi-party elections, independent courts, and civil liberties, but Project 2025 targets all for dismantling. Multi-party elections, independent courts, and civil liberties form the democratic guardrails that still distinguish us from complete totalitarianism. We're told we're elevating above dysfunction, but we're actually descending into totalitarianism, rhetoric versus reality. If authoritarian powers remain accessible in our cratering democracy, will Trump not grab them and use them to the fullest extent? Opposition must evolve from naivete to radical acceptance, recognizing the path we're on and understanding Trump's ultimate goal. Historical German resistance to Nazi synchronization offers models for contemporary opposition strategies against authoritarian consolidation. Germans resisted through white rose leaflets, non-compliance with directives, church resistance, and exposing abuses, creative actions under totalitarianism. Political violence plays into law and order narratives. Strategic nonviolent resistance offers the productive path forward. Build independent organizations, grassroots networks, local unions, religious groups, entities difficult to co-opt or dissolve that sustain opposition. Nonviolent resistance succeeds through transparency, unified action, international support, and documenting abuses for global exposure. Shine a light and share information as widely as possible. This is all about winning the middle, not just the base. Prepare for crackdowns. Authoritarian responses to resistance will be inevitable, a fact of life. Opposition must anticipate. Effective resistance requires broad-based support, flexibility, and the ability to adapt tactics when facing repression. The Arab Spring, color revolutions, and Soviet bloc collapse prove correct. Coordinated opposition can defeat authoritarian consolidation. Strategic opposition can slow down consolidation, expose abuses, defeat authoritarianism, and ultimately preserve our republic. We're grasping what losing looks like. Now we must imagine what winning looks like and work toward it. Our 250th year of democracy could be a celebration, or our last year before authoritarian transformation. We are all in great danger.